Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday here in Midtown Manhattan, and tonight we are going to be talking about Innovation Homes, which is a real estate investment trust that specializes in acquiring single-family homes in the United States in order to rent them out to prospective tenants. Now, the only thing, and I think this is what's going to be interesting about the conversation tonight, is ever since the coronavirus pandemic, there's been a lot of backlash over whether institutional investors, such as Blackstone, KKR, and other real estate investment trusts, should they be able to price quote-unquote retail buyers out of single-family homes and use that for investment gains. We'll talk about that and more tonight on the stream. I see Ken Kramer here. Otto says, hi, Tom, good evening. Joey's here. By the Book says, hey, Tom, hope you're well. What's up? What's up, By the Book? Joey says, how was your Monday? You know what? My Monday was very good. My Monday was really, really good. And before I forget, if anybody wants to have some context, let me put my computer away. If anybody wants to have some context for tonight's stream, if you type !home, H-O-M-E, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the article that we're going to be talking about tonight. Hey, Jared says, yo, Miss Mo says, hi, Tom, thank you for the generously sized newsletter. Hey, Miss Mo, no problem. So everybody, I apologize for not getting the Behind the Street newsletter out to everybody last week. So you're going to have essentially two newsletters in one. So if you check your email right now, the Behind the Street newsletter, the 8th edition of the Behind the Street newsletter, will be in your inbox. Hey, I see Jetstar says, hey, Tom, hope you made a great sale today. What's up, Jetstar? Shot by Scott says, what's up? I'm walking through Wynwood while watching you walk through New York City. Awesome, Scott. I should be back in Miami pretty soon. Happy Chick says, hi. What's going on? What's up, Otto? Hope you're well. I see Jetstar. I see Jamie Massetti. Jared Melee is here. Zachary says, hey, happy Monday. Chris says, hey. Dante Rose. Otto says, thanks for the newsletter. Lots of good info there. No problem. RJ says, hi. Mirage says, hi. Michelle Cunningham, AI, what's going on? What's up, everybody? Hope you're well. Valentina says, hey, happy Monday, Tom. Ooh, I see Ice in the chat. What's up, Ice? Good to see you. NYC Cherry Groove says, Tom, we were upset you didn't make Vegas. I know. So I was only in Vegas, NYC Cherry Groove, for about 12 hours, so I didn't have enough time to stream. The only thing I really did there was just attend the Christmas party, and then I jumped right back on the plane and came back to New York City. But I think we're going to head into Midtown Manhattan tonight. It is a little bit windy, so I want to avoid the wind as much as possible. Ruby Falcone says, good Monday evening. Glad to see you still in New York City. Thank you, Ruby. Appreciate it. Penelope is here. Says, good evening, Tom, from the great state of Tennessee. So the topic of tonight's stream, and I think it's a pretty interesting topic because even though it is related to the stock market, I always like to change things up and talk about the housing market every once in a while. And one of the big sort of conflicts, I would say debates across the spectrum, ever since the lows of the COVID pandemic, has been around single-family homes. And as we know, the average price of the single-family house has gone up over 30% on average over the past year. And that sort of sparks the conversation, should big institutional investors like Blackstone and the like be able to buy single-family homes en masse for investment gains? Because there's a lot of speculation that these big institutional investors are actually the main reason why housing prices are extremely high. And I'm not so sure that that is true, but we're going to talk about it today. And there was a great article in Investors Business Daily this week sort of breaking down all of the different real estate investment trusts that specialize specifically in single-family homes. Hey, Cool Out 516 is here, says, just got the newsletter. Yes, so everybody, once again, the newsletter should be in your inbox. The Behind the Street newsletter. Please check your spam folder, because oftentimes it does go to the spam folder. Hey, I see Jimmy Anderson here. Says, cheers, brother. NYC Rich says, what's up, bro? What's going on, everybody? What's up, Jimmy Anderson? Ren 1018 says, Tom, how do you determine when to call it an end of a workday? So I try to make a hard cutoff around, I would say maybe 7 o'clock. But it really just depends on the amount of work I'm getting from clients and if I have a conference call that's running late, something like that. But what about you? Jetstar says, did your restless legs bother you on your Vegas flight? Indeed they did. Hey, War Walker's here. Says, evening, Tomcat. How are you? Hope everything is good. What is up, War Walker? War Walker is joining us from Miami. Running at altitude says, great topic tonight. Housing prices are out of control and not in line with wages. Yeah, so I think running at altitude makes a great point. And a lot of people say the definition of a bubble across really any asset class, but one of my good buddies puts it this way. He says, if you want to think about or want to talk about a housing bubble, he thinks it's a bubble when the vast majority or the average guy or girl out there making an average salary can no longer afford to buy a home. And I think that's a pretty good example of a housing bubble. And I think this has all been driven by the Federal Reserve, artificially low interest rates, and the Fed also buying mortgage-backed securities. And we briefly touched upon yesterday that Toll Brothers, which is a luxury home builder, they actually just reported earnings and they reported a record quarter. So we're seeing this disparity between the middle class and the top 10% widen exponentially. Hey, Jimmy Anderson says, such a cool view of the Empire State Building. At least I think it is, right? Yeah, that's the Empire right in front of us. British Gray is here. Says, good evening, Tom. British Gray is joining us from Tampa, Florida. What's going on? Hey, Lady O is here. What's up, Lady O? Lady O is our great moderator from New Jersey, from the Garden State. Let's see if we can even get out of here, everybody. This looks like a war zone over here. There's a ton of construction near Penn Station. NYC Cherry Groove says, Tom, was the Vegas party worth it? And what did you think of Vegas? So Cherry Groove, I'm actually not a big fan of Vegas, to be honest. Some people really like it. I'm just not that big of a fan. But I think it was worth it to go to make new contacts and meet people. Hey, Vinny Castellano says, hey, bud, how's it going tonight? It's going really well. Hope you're well, Vinny Castellano. Jetstar says, here in Naples, Florida, the housing market has come to a halt as we have no more inventory. Wow. Dino says, hey, Tom, Behind the Street number 8 just dropped to the mailbox. Looking forward to reading it. Thank you. Hey, appreciate that, Dino. John Rambo says, howdy. Rambo has entered the stream. What's up? I Revis is here. Says hello. Yeah, so Jetstar, that's a good point, right? So I think another thing that's fueling this housing boom is the lack of supply. Because if you think about it, and especially just in my life, a lot of people that I talk to that own houses, let's say on Long Island or something like that, you know, they tell me that the value of their homes have gone up 30%, but if they go to sell, that means they have to go right back into the market and buy something else. So we are right outside Madison Square Garden, 34th Street, Penn Station, looking uptown. And this is a great shot of the Empire, I'll show you guys. Hey, Ren 1018 says, Tom, knowing when to call it at the end of the day is difficult for me. I am very busy year-round. Michael Johnson says, good evening, everybody. Always a pleasure. Nicole is here. Says, hi, Tom and chat. Hey, we got Marty Lewis here. What's up, Marty Lewis? Good to see you as always. Jackie M. What's up, Jackie? Good to see you. Chilly night here in New York City. War Walker says, there was a convention of Santa Clauses. Yeah, I believe it was called SantaCon or something like that. Flex Stream says Sbarro is amazing pizza. I think I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit with that. I know Zachary says the fire truck was going the opposite way. You know it's an emergency when the FDNY is going the opposite way. So I hope everybody's all right. William says hello. What's up, William? William Travis. Hey, Jackie M says it's chilly here in Los Angeles too. Very cool. Andrew Lee is here from Queens. What's up, Andrew Lee from Queens? This is enjoy the walk. Appreciate it. Hey, we got Cosmo Scarian here, former Baruch graduate or student. Says Sbarro is the finest Italian eater in New York. I agree with that. Jackie says Santa Monica will confirm that, right? Dino says Sbarro. Yeah, Sbarro is not the best. Let's just put it that way. It's not the greatest by any stretch. Hey, Cherry Groove says, Tom, it was colder in Vegas. You know, Cherry Groove, you make a good point. When I got off the plane in Vegas, I was freezing, and I only wore a Patagonia vest too. Hey, Santa Monica Rodriguez is here. What's up, Santa Monica Rodriguez? Jetstar says, Tom, plus construction costs are through the roof due to lumber, drywall, and roofing. Yeah, so that's another thing. Lumber has been going on an absolute tear as of late. But 2 months ago, we actually saw a drastic drawdown of about 50%. Lumber prices have since collapsed 50%. But off of those lows, we've started to rally hard. So commodities prices across the board are rallying extremely hard. And we've been talking about that a lot on the Behind the Street newsletter. Hey, Comic-Con Hunter is here. OP Neon says, are you passing by 52nd Street today? We will be. The Austin Tennis is joining us here from Canada. How are you? Comic-Con says, hello, Tom, mods, and fellow skaters. What's up, everybody? So we are standing at 34th Street, overlooking the Empire State Building. NNB 45 says, good evening, Tom. Hope you had a great day at work. I did. Hurt Disciple 481 says, hi. So everybody, just a quick recap. The topic of the stream tonight is innovation homes. And if you type !HOME in the chat, I programmed the Nightbot to drop a link to the Investors Business Daily article talking about innovation homes. And innovation homes stands out from your average real estate investment trust. For starters, it's the largest player in America's single-family home rental market. And it's not even a decade old yet. It was founded in 2012. Dallas-based Innovation renovates, leases, and operates single-family. It handles everything from property management to maintenance to online payment systems. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've been seeing a lot of articles, especially in the mainstream media, not really in the Wall Street Journal or Barron's, which is usually mainly what finance guys read, but it's making like the New York Times, it's making CNN and Fox News, where there's this narrative that's going around that big venture capital, private equity, and big Wall Street firms are going into the single family housing market and deliberately trying to price out retail buyers of single family homes. So for example, this real estate investment trust, and if you want to do some more research into it, the ticker symbol is INVH. Invitation Homes. Invitation Homes. And I believe they own about 8,000 single family homes so far that they're just using mainly for speculation purposes and to rent out. And so a lot of people are upset saying, hey, all of these big Wall Street firms that have so much money are pricing us out of the market. And I do see their concern. I really do see their concern. But I don't think it's affecting prices as much as the average person would think. But there are neighborhoods across the country where you'll drive around and the vast majority of the single family homes are owned by Wall Street firms. Hey, Sunshine New York says, welcome everybody. Enjoy, hit the like button. What is going on, Sunshine New York? Good to see you. Hope you had a good day today. Hey, I see George Lopez here. What's up, George Lopez? Dino, how are you? Edson says, good evening, Tom. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. Hey, Sebastian says, New York is beautiful. Love from India. Poon Adam is here. Jackie M says, Jester, that's why my landlord can't get off his ass and remodel. Yeah, it's definitely a big conundrum. I see Sunshine After Rain in here as well. What's up, Sunshine? Chris says, didn't Zillow try something like this? So Chris, Zillow was a little bit different. So Zillow was in the iBuyer category. So essentially what Zillow was trying to do is buy a ton of single family homes, sight unseen, quickly remodel and renovate them, and then flip them. So they were in the iBuyer single family home flipping business, which they did an absolutely egregious job. If you want to talk about greed and speculation, you know, the first thing you could talk about is Zillow. So I'm glad they got burned. I think they had to take about $365 million loss on their iBuyer program, in which case they had to lay off a significant portion of their workforce due to their iBuyer program backfiring. So it's a little bit different, but this company that we're talking about, Invitation Homes, is a real estate investment trust, or a REIT, where they acquire single family homes solely for the purpose of renting them out to people. Hey, the Catman Games says, hi Tom. What's up, Catman Games? Good to see you. Oyota says, I like my New York City. Very cool. British Gray, how are you? Hope everything's well in Tampa, Florida. Hope everything's well in Tampa, Florida. George Lopez says, hey again. The Austin Tennis says, are we staying here till Christmas, or we'll be returning to Sunny Isles soon? We're going to be returning to Sunny Isles, I think in 2 days, but then I will be back in New York City. Mies is just like Mick Jagger sang on his 1972 song Shattered. The prime rate is going higher, higher, higher on Wednesday, says me. Referring to the Federal Reserve's meeting that concludes on Wednesday. William Travis says, is that Macy's? Yes, it is Macy's. And I think they're in a big fight over Amazon for their advertising space. Penelope says, good, bottom feeders need to go. Agreed. Agreed. Shop by Scott says, how far out of character do you feel that you have come for clients when you entertain them? Are you pretty much yourself, or do you have to put on the Ritz, or vice versa, says Shop by Scott? So I think that's a good question. I think I'm mainly myself. So you guys know that I, talk to you all on the stream. This is pretty much how I am in normal life. At least I'd like to think so. But there are some clients where I need to do a little bit more, lay it on thick, as they call it, because these guys are really, really demanding. But I think overall, Scott, I think my personality stays consistent based upon if I talk to, one guy or the next. Hey, Jackie Jackson says, hi, Tom. Everybody, hope all is well. Thank you, Jackie. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Happy Monday. Big start to the week. It's going to be a busy week on Wall Street. The Federal Reserve's 2 p.m. and we are going to find out if Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is going to speed up the tapering. As we know, the Federal Reserve is continuously buying mortgage-backed securities and U.S. Treasuries and keeping interest rates at bottom-of-the-barrel rates. So we're going to get a lot of clarity Wednesday at 2 o'clock, so expect volatility. Melanie Sam says, lovely afternoon. Hello, everybody. What's up, Melanie Sam? Good to see you. Trevi30 says, sup, Tom. How are you? I'm doing very well. Photos from around New York says, I hope most of your clients are reasonable. Yeah, photos, for the most part, my clients are reasonable, for the most part. But there's always going to be times where you run into people that are a little bit, let's just say demanding. We'll use that term. Hey, ZXW says, Tom. What's up, ZXW? Roz999 says, hello from Buffalo, New York. Welcome, everybody from Buffalo, New York. We're standing here on West 34th Street and Broadway tonight. I'll give you guys one more look of the main Macy's right here on 34th Street. But tonight I think we're going to walk up Broadway the majority of the way and go to Grand Central Station, and then we'll head back downtown. It's going to be a relatively short stream tonight, probably about an hour, because I do have to catch the train. So I believe there's 2 of these all over the city. One is obviously right here at Herald Square, but the other one is down by Astor Place, and there's a massive Salvation Army sort of donation bucket. It looks kind of cool. Shot by Scott says, I thought Tom might have a gangster side to him that was repressing. Just curious. Hilarious. Hey, Cherry Group says, Tom, do you have up-and-coming material on marketing and advertisement and how it will affect the economy? So I think the majority of the advertising is going to continue to be online. So look for companies like The Trade Desk. I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of them. Jackie M, how are you? Chris Mills is called the Kettle. Kettle. Interesting. But good to see you, Chris Mills. Hope you're well. We haven't looked at the Macy's windows in a while, so I'll give everybody a quick look. Jay Leto says, I don't like how New York City has blocked off streets and turned them into pedestrian walkways. It must be so hard getting around Manhattan. So Jay, I totally understand your perspective on that, but I actually think the opposite. I kind of like it, but then again, I don't drive, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. The Austin Tennis is, Tom, what resources or techniques do you use for prospecting new clients? So in my everyday sales role, I use, different software products. The number one prospecting tool that I've been using is called Zoom Info, which we talk about a lot on the stream. So Zoom Info is a prospecting tool, an outbound marketing tool that integrates well with many different CRMs. The CRM that I'm most familiar with using is HubSpot, Salesforce, and Zoho. Hey, Roz999 says, I would like to share something real quick. A close friend of mine just lost thousands of dollars in a crypto mining scam. So many scams out there. Yeah, Roz999. It's funny you mention that because in this week's edition of the Behind the Street newsletter, because I get my email box gets absolutely blown up with people asking about all of these different cryptocurrencies and NFTs and meme coins and all of this crazy stuff. So I actually write about it in the Behind the Street newsletter and just tell everybody, completely ignore all of that stuff. If it sounds too good to be true, it 100% is too good to be true. There's a lot of people out there that are willing to do unethical things to make a buck. So please do not give your money to anybody online. There's actually a person in my comments section almost every night that impersonates me, trying to get the viewers of this stream to send them Bitcoin. So if anybody sees somebody in the comments that's like Wall Street Skate Bro 1 or Wall Street Skate Bro 2, it is not me. I would never ask anybody for money ever for any sort of trading scheme. So please just be careful and be safe out there, everybody. So this is the front of Macy's. Beautiful. Hey, Sally says, hi, Tom. Thiago says, any opinion on new bank fintech IPO? So I was reading an article about that. I think it's going to be a big disruptor. I think it's going to take a significant amount of market share over time, but I just couldn't justify buying it at this valuation, especially that it's not profitable. Yes, Santa Monica Rodriguez is what the shady people. A lot of craziness. Thiago, welcome from Brazil. Judy D says, hi, Tom. New York City is so alive and vibrant this evening. Yes, it is. Daniel G is joining us from Buenos Aires, Argentina. What's up, Daniel G? And Mark Davis says, good evening, Tom. Hope all is well with you there. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Person of the Year, Time Magazine 2022. So the Person of the Year was Elon Musk, I think. He just won Person of the Year. Alex says, hey, Tom. Good evening. Good evening. What's up, Alex? So this thing actually moves and rotates, if you could see it, if you look straight ahead of you. Jackie M says, eventually they'll just siphon money directly out of our accounts. Well, oftentimes they actually try to do that with different phishing email schemes called Imitet, which is the topic for tomorrow's stream, believe it or not. But it is definitely a lively day in New York City. Oliviera is here. What's up, Oliviera? Hey, Joe says, my mom and I are watching. Can you get a shout out? Maria. What's up, Maria? How are you? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Death says, when is the IBM stream? That's probably going to be next week, the IBM stream. We're going to talk about IBM's new department of quantum computing. But today's stream is Innovation Homes. So check out this statistic, and I think it's a pretty interesting one. It says today the Real Estate Investment Trust, or REIT, has grown its portfolio to more than 80,000 homes, making it the United States' largest single-family rental company. It currently plays in 16 of the top United States markets, and 95% of its revenue comes from West Coast, Sun Belt, and Southeast regions. And the average price point of the home they've acquired was about $440,000. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because if you think about a price point of $440,000, that is the sweet spot where middle-class Americans and first-time homebuyers are trying to acquire homes for themselves. So there's been a big uproar on Main Street against big companies like Blackstone and KKR and all of these different real estate investment trusts that are acquiring single-family homes solely for the purposes of renting them out to the very people that want to buy a single-family home to live in. So it's definitely a dicey situation, especially if we look at the data. The inventory of single-family homes on the market across the United States are at all-time record lows. So quintuple that with artificially low interest rates from the Federal Reserve. Big Wall Street firms that have excellent credit ratings can probably get a sub 3% interest rate on their mortgage. So the argument posts itself, how is it possible for somebody like you or me or anybody in the chat, how is it possible for somebody like us to compete with these big Wall Street firms when they can just come in and buy these homes sight unseen with cash offers or very aggressive financing? But actually, if we look at the data, it doesn't really impact the price as much as you would think. But there's still significant uproar in the community about, should we have more regulation about what you can do with your single family home? Should homes only be for living in? Should you be able to rent out a single family home? I think you should. But I also see the other side of the argument where people can get a little bit frustrated if they're looking for a home for the past year, they've put in multiple offers on different properties, and they still can't get a house because the competition is so fierce and the inventory is so low. So I guess I'll turn it over to you guys. What do you guys think? Should big Wall Street firms be able to buy up massive amount of single family homes for the sole purpose of renting them out? What do you guys think? Jared says BlackRock manages the pension and retirement funds that buy the homes, then sell or rent the homes at a higher price back to the retail investors of those funds, says Jared. JK is here. What's up, JK? Good to see you. Yeah, so there's been a lot of those articles, right, about BlackRock is this big bad money manager that's buying up all the single family homes, and now there's none left for the rest of us. But actually, if we look at the data, it doesn't really impact the market as much as you would think, maybe in certain subsegments. And as we just read an excerpt out of that article, that Investors Business Daily article, the vast majority of places where these institutions are buying homes are in places like the West Coast, the Sun Belt, the Southeast of the United States, mainly where it's very good weather and people want to go to retire. So very interesting. Hey, Chris Mills says, check out the real estate in Toronto. So I'm not too familiar with the real estate market in Toronto, but I've heard it is crazy. It's almost just as nuts as here in New York City and in America. Hey, hello from Beijing, China. Welcome everybody from China. Good to see you. NNB045 says we should just find creative ways to increase supply if REITs are unstoppable. Interesting take. Jackie M says I think we should be able to rent within my means, period, and stop raising rent costs, says Jackie M. Penelope says the pandemic has hurt so many people. I think they are taking advantage. It's a matter of morals and money, says Penelope. Interesting take. Hey, Patrick New York is here. What's up, Patrick New York? Good to see you. Miss Mo says the housing situation. Let me read what you said. Miss Mo, I'll read your comment. I just lost it. Miss Mo says the housing situation is similar to what happened during the Great Depression. Riverside Park was a shanty town, says Miss Mo. Chris says, haven't REITs been around a bit? They have followed certain rules for their shareholders. I believe housing market is hot. Of course, they want to get in. Yeah, so there's many different things, and that's a good point that you bring up there. So a real estate investment trust, there's many different subcategories in a REIT, right? You could actually have a REIT that is dedicated towards cloud computing. So there's a lot of data storage REITs, so one which being Equinix. But Innovation Homes, the reason why we're talking about this one specifically is because they only solely focus on single family housing. There's a lot of REITs that are very diversified. Maybe they buy multifamily units where they're buying massive apartment buildings, right, with 100 or 300 units. So we'll do a quick segue. This is one of the greatest soup places in the entire city. If you come to New York, you have to go to this place. I come here almost every day. It's 1011 6th Avenue, and it is phenomenal. So definitely would check this out right here. Hey, the Mighty Bull says, greetings, Tom. Good to see you out and about. Hope you have a nice coat. Appreciate that, the Mighty Bull. Good to see you. Happy Monday. Hey, VS says, hi, Tom. Sally says, beautiful. JK says, awesome. Good to see you, JK. Hey, Disney cast member is here. Disney, good to see you again. Hope everything's going well with your move. So speaking about single family homes, I believe Disney cast member just closed on a single family home in upstate New York. So congratulations on that. That's fantastic. So we're walking up 6th Avenue. We're about to hit Bryant Park, West 40th Street. Hey, Roz999 says, how about we regulate the amount of foreign investments into U.S. real estate? I have read that China and Russia have played a big part in driving up New York City real estate prices. So Roz999, that's a good point. But one of the things, so I've actually been doing a lot of research on this, and there's actually a very good research piece that I will put in the link in this description. I just have to find it on my computer. But Deutsche Bank, which is a German investment bank, actually did an entire research piece around that exact topic. So why do we see real estate investors from Russia, Saudi Arabia, China, Japan, why do they buy multi-million-dollar apartment complexes in Manhattan and never live in them? They may be here for like 2 or 3 weeks out of the entire year. Well, one of those reasons is that, especially in a place like China, you have wealth confiscation. So a Chinese billionaire would much rather drop $50 million or $100 million on some real estate in America as a wealth preservation tactic to prevent their governments from confiscating their wealth. And we see the same thing go on in other countries around the world too, such as Russia. So I really believe it's just a way for them to diversify their assets and reduce their tax bills from their home countries. But it's definitely it's definitely something to think about. Definitely something to think about. Yeah, Chris says they are parking money. Yeah, exactly what Chris said. Many of it is just, they don't even live here, right? So when I lived on 59th Street, right there near Central Park, we had many people in my building that would only be here for one weekend out of the entire year. Hey, first name, last name says happy holidays. Carolina Tom says good evening. What's up, Carolina Tom? Hope you're well. Chris says, hey Tom, employing your live stream again. When I get back to New York City, can you show me around? You're a wealth of knowledge. Yeah, Chris, no problem. Just shoot me an email. NNB45 says the businesses around the empty. The businesses around the empty bought apartments will suffer. Jonathan Richards says, hello, Tom. Hope you're doing well today. Enjoyed your newsletter today. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Lady O says, some of my patients live in Hudson Yards and own homes in New Jersey. Good observation, Tom. Wow. Lady O, that's crazy. So the Hudson Yards, Lady O, isn't that extremely high rent district? I think all of those are new developments in ultra luxury high rises in the Hudson Yards. Hey, John L says, Trump make fortune selling the condos to Russian billionaires, says John L. That's a good observation too. And you know what I've noticed, everybody? A lot of Russian and Ukrainian and Chinese wealth is also parking a lot of its money in Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. So there's massive, massive ultra luxury apartment buildings going up all over Southern Florida. Asia Unscripted says, good evening. What is up, Asia Unscripted? Tom says, consider slowly why they park here. David says, I can only imagine the HOA of a $50 million USD penthouse. Dude, I can only imagine. Hi, please say welcome to Priyanka to New York. I am coming January 25th. Well, Priyanka, welcome to New York. Jessica says, hi, good evening. What's up, Jessica? Good. How are you? Yeah, Disney cast member says Phoenix as well. So if you look directly downtown, you can actually see the spire of the One World Trade Center. Mighty Bull says is watching. What's up, Mighty Bull? Mark Davis, good to see you. Photos from around New York says these ghost neighborhoods are a problem that have been discussed in New York City and London. Yeah, I think for the most part, photos from around New York, you could think about, you know, Billionaires Row right here on 57th Street. Shot by Scott says, Tom, someone here told me that Russian billionaires will buy up the majority of the Sunny Isles condos to clean money, then sell to massive losses to drive down values to other Russians that can buy low. Ooh. Wow, that's actually, I never thought about it like that, Scott. That's actually, I don't want to say a good idea because that's obviously unethical, but wow. That's definitely something that needs to be addressed for sure. And I would assume the developers don't even care what they're doing with it, because the developers, they just cash out and then they run away from it. So Fields says, are you into politics? Not really. Not really. So we'll take a quick walk around the Winter Village at Bryant Park. Scott Bridge says, the problem is the banks will buy homes and make them high-end rentals that I couldn't have afforded, so it's not good either. Yeah, Scott, that's exactly what we were talking about tonight. Hey, Steve Rose says, good evening, Tom. Greetings from Texas. How's the walk going? The walk's going good. It's even better now that you're here. NNB45 says, as argued by Max Kaiser, that's why everyone should adopt Bitcoin, because his wealth no one can confiscate. So Max Kaiser actually, I believe, has the first ever patent on a digital currency. And Max Kaiser actually had a very lengthy career on Wall Street and was one of the early adopters of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. And I actually sometimes frequently listen to his podcast. It's called the Orange Pill Podcast by Max Kaiser. So I would definitely take a look at that. That's a very good observation there. All right, everybody. So if you look directly in front of you, this is the One Vanderbilt building right here in New York City. Beautiful. And we are standing in the middle of Bryant Park. Hey, toilet brush salesman, long time no see. Says, Tom, this is happening in the UK too, not just London. They're building actual high-rises for it. No locals buy high-rise apartments here. Yeah, that seems like a big problem. In New York, it's egregious here. Hey, Charlie Richardson is here. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Giovanna, how are you? Jason says, good evening, Tom. Good evening, Jason. Pack Fan 2323 says, hello, Tom. Dan from Wisconsin. What's up, Dan? Good to see you. Wisconsin, very cool. Car Tire says, didn't Trump sell his tower in New York to Putin? Putin is buying everything here. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to fact check that. I'm not sure about that. But you could be right. I'm just not sure. Photos from around New York says, wouldn't Miami get pissed off? They'd lose out on all the property taxes. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, well, actually not really, because anytime you sell a property, you have to pay a full year's taxes up front. So somebody's paying the taxes either way on the buy or the sell, but definitely interesting. Chris says, how much capital would real estate investment trusts need to move a local housing market? Seems like 80K single family wouldn't move the needle much in the larger market. What do you think? So Chris, I think you're absolutely bang on. And this is why I've been telling everybody, look, it's easy to read the mainstream media, because if we take a step back, and I'm not trying to be political here, the right-wing news organizations like Fox News, that's owned by News Corporation, they do the same thing as CNN, right? The only thing that they're trying to do is get a rise out of people, right? They want people to be fighting. They want people to be arguing. So that's what gets the clicks. So when you see these articles that Wall Street is coming in and pricing out the little guy and destroying the housing market, if you really look at the data, and if you're a person that has a data science background and you're analytical and you understand how to decipher this data, you'll understand that the dent that institutional money plays in the single family housing market is not really enough to impact the overall market that significantly. Like not at all. And I have some sources to cite that. Ooh, look at all these rats. Yikes. Ooh, big yikes. But I'm definitely going to put it in the links in the description once we conclude the stream. But in some subsegments, let's say if you're trying to compete with an institutional investor and they just so happen to be crowding in a particular market, then yeah, maybe it could impact that market locally, but on a big macro scale, right? If we're talking macro, it doesn't really move the needle in terms of prices across the span of the United States. Flex Stream says rats, I know. Hey, Homer J. Mac says there's a dude here at Bryant Park that sells awesome New York City themed shirts. Very cool. Sadie says the lights out there make it seem so cozy. Wish I could be transported there right now. Olaf from Hawaii. Hey, very cool. Welcome everybody from Hawaii. John L. says house prices are more related to central bank low interest rate policies. It's worldwide. So what John L. said probably sums it up the best. And we talk about this a lot on the streams, that artificially low interest rates have been really juicing the returns in the housing market, because a lot of people, when they're making their budget for the home, the vast majority of people make their budget based upon the minimum monthly payment that they can pay on their mortgage. And when you have interest rates that are now at sub 3% in many cases, you know, now you could probably afford a house that's probably $100,000 technically over your budget. So I think that's a pretty good observation. And historically, if we look at the overall housing trends, for every 1% increase in interest rates, you have about a 10% correction in the housing market. So if the Federal Reserve really gets rocking here and raising interest rates, which I don't think they'll do, by the way, there could be some fireworks here, but we'll see. Homer says we have another factor, foreign all cash buyers, says Homer. So Homer, that's another good observation. So when I just recently closed on a house in North Miami Beach, Florida, and my real estate agent, which I've known for many, many years, is a good friend of mine, said the vast majority of the deals he's done this year in Southern Florida have been over asking with at least 50% or more down. So think about that, 50% or more down payment, and some all cash. Yeah, Chris is also hard to compete with overpriced all cash offering if you're coming in with a loan. Agreed. Hey, BBQ Rando says hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome everybody from Phoenix. Coolon516 says I got a postcard from a realtor saying he wanted to buy my home. I live in a 650 square foot apartment. Wow. Hey, me says Tom, have you been to Collins Avenue, north end of Sunny Isles lately? It's filling with young Russian millionaires, punk kids who are spending daddy's money and racing their high-end vehicles. So I have not been there yet. I'll be sure to avoid that. Homer says I am a real estate agent in San Francisco. To square one. Well, you heard it here first from a real estate expert in San Francisco. So this is the Bryant Park Winter Village near the ice skating rink. A beautiful place to come to sort of hang out and relax. And for a Monday night, this place is absolutely rocking. So it's very encouraging to see everything opening back up again. Hey, NNB045, I appreciate the support with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Says thank you for clarifying, learning so much from you. Appreciate it, NNB045. Hey, Warwalkers, this is 1025, Sir Tomcat. Thank you, Warwalker. Appreciate it. Hey, Andrew says, if you had to give someone advice on moving to New York, what would it be? 3 helpful tips. So I think the first thing I would say is if you're moving here and you don't have much money, I would move in with roommates. And the second thing I would do is I would try to find a job as fast as possible. And me personally, I would either try to find a job in tech because there's a lot of technology startups that are hiring here. And oftentimes they will offer you an equity compensation package. So not along with your basic salary, let's say if they offer you an $80,000 basic salary, they will also offer you an equity portion of your salary. And in that case, if the company goes public, you're going to be having a really good day. And number 3, I would say try to be as outgoing as possible and meet as many people as possible, because New York has the smartest, the best and brightest people, not only in the United States, but around the world. Oh, these are really cool backpacks here. Hey, Bill Coleman is here. What's up, Bill? Good to see you. Ron is here. What's up, Ron? Jordan LeBeau says, hi, Tom. How are you? I'm doing very good, Jordan. Bill Coleman says, hello. New York from Los Angeles. What's up, Bill? Good to see you. Nikki Jeffries says, do you skate, Tom? I do not skate. I do not, unfortunately. Ireva says, I remember the commute to San Jose, California. It would take 2 hours without traffic, maybe 30 minutes. Crazy. Hey, just in case, Ethereum says, hey guys, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. Cool Aunt says, grab the backpack you need. I know. I have to get a backpack. That's on the to-do list for tomorrow. It's definitely going to be on the to-do list for tomorrow. So now we are going to head east towards Grand Central Station, the brand new One Vanderbilt Tower. Dan Block says, where do you look for those tech jobs? So good news, everybody. By the end of this week, I'm going to have a Discord chat that is completely free for anybody to join to talk about career advancement in tech and on Wall Street. We have many people that are a part of this channel that work at major investment banks, that work in Silicon Valley. Maybe you're an engineer, software engineer, or maybe you're an enterprise account executive. So we're going to have the Discord up to share ideas for career talk. So that's going to be very soon. John L says, are you currently self-employed? So as of now, I am currently self-employed, working on a technology consulting startup. But I did work many years at some major tech companies in the tech and telecom space as a major account executive. Shot by Scott says, yes, Discord rules. It does rule. Neil Victor says, coming next week. How is the subway safety these days? I think the subway safety is pretty decent. I think it's pretty fine. You know, you're going to have some shady characters everywhere you go. But I think by and large, everything is fine. And I think it's going to get better because Mayor Bill de Blasio is going to be leaving office very soon, which I think is a plus for everybody. Hey, Scott Briggs says, I worked a temp job for a year in downtown New York City. The job sucked, but I learned a lot. Well, there we go, Scott. It's all about just learning. So here we are on 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. And if you look straight ahead, you will see the Chrysler Building. Beautiful. Hey, Alex says, hey, Tom, just stopping by for a minute while I'm at work. hotel hours. Cheers from Chicago. Looking forward to watching the entire stream later tonight. Hey, thank you so much and have a good day at work. Bill Coleman says, I thought that was 42nd Street. So it is 42nd Street. We're on the corner of 42nd and 5th Avenue. Good to see you, sunshine after rain. Steve Rose says, that's awesome, Tom. However, I'm in the commercial air conditioning business here in Houston, so I'm good. Hey, HVAC is an amazing, amazing trade to get into. HVAC is... will always be in demand, so that's awesome, Steve. But you're more than welcome to join the Discord. I think we're gonna make it like sub-segmented into multiple different topics. Homer says, Tom, what did you do specifically in telecom? So I was a major account executive selling into the large, you can call it large enterprise home healthcare agencies, nursing homes and hospitals. So we did a lot of EVV implementation. So that is anything from like the electronic visit verifications, API integration into their electronic medical records platform, things like that. So if anybody is from the New York tri-state area and you have a home health aide that is coming to your house, 9 times out of 10, that's probably going to be a product or a solution that I sold them. For their wireless forms, EVV, things like that. John L. says, HVAC guy on our market channel owns a bus. Very cool. 3-inch hippopotamus says, hey Tom, what's the next big event in New York City? I'm not too sure about what the next big event is. Hey, Verse says, I'm a full-time artist studying tech as a left brain exercise. It's difficult for me to meet due dates and policies of a corporation. The Austin Tennis says, Tom, in the Discord, will you have a separate channel where you post daily pics of your, oh my God. Austin Tennis, indeed we will. Homer says, I used to buy and sell fiber optics on my account base was in New York City. Ah, very cool. Nick GNY says, is every restaurant asking for vaccine cards? In New York City, yes, they are. Robert says, good evening, Tom. Great to see you tonight, my friend. Robert Muhammad, always a pleasure. We are standing outside of the Steven Schwartzman building here. Has some of the best architecture in New York City. And I actually had an appointment to go into the research lab in the library and take out a very rare finance book called The Margin of Safety. And The Margin of Safety is pretty much considered the greatest valuation book ever written by Seth Klarman. And there was a time at one of the Berkshire Hathaway meetings that somebody raised their hand and said to Warren Buffett, you know, besides you, who would you listen to in relation to investing? And Warren Buffett, he sort of stayed quiet for a little bit, and he was like, well, you know what? If I had to be honest, I probably wouldn't say anybody, but if I had to say somebody, I would say Seth Klarman. Yeah, maybe Seth Klarman. So Seth Klarman actually has his hedge fund right here based out of New York City. And the book, if anybody wants to look it up, is called Margin of Safety. But I believe there's only about 2,000 copies ever printed. So if you want to purchase a physical copy of the book, I think it's going to cost you upwards of $3,000 or more. But there's free archive versions of the PDF for free online. Or if you come here to the Steven Schwartzman building, they have one of the original copies that you're not allowed to take out, but you are allowed to sit down and read it in the research lab. And this is one of the brand new New York Public Library buildings here. And on the 5th floor, you have the International Business Center, where they have free Bloomberg terminals, which I always use. Andy the Obliviator says, hey, when you said you were hesitant about airlines the other night, I went deep on AAL puts and made bank. Currently short-term holding SQQQ calls on Evergrande FUD. Pray for me, says Andy the Obliviator. Well, we definitely will pray for you, Andy, but good to see you. Leonardo says, strange love country. Soon I will be back. Guru Chahal says, hi, Tom. How are you? Bill. What's up, Bill Coleman? AS says, hi, Tom. How are you? NNB045 says, what are some of the features on the Bloomberg terminal? There's pretty much unlimited features on the Bloomberg terminal. I think it would probably be a whole stream to go through all the functions. So there's so many functions on the Bloomberg terminal that's possible to do. But we'll take a lap around Grand Central Station, and then we're going to head to Rockefeller Center. But I wanted to show everybody this view of the New York Public Library from the other side of the street. Andy the Obliviator says, no love for the Bear Gang. So Andy the Obliviator, I actually just dropped the Behind the Street newsletter where we talk about the severely, severely sick and declining breadth of this market. The major indices are near all-time record highs, but if we look under the hood of this market, less than 20% or more than 60% of the NASDAQ is below its 200-day moving average. So very, very interesting situation we have going on here. Yeah, Homer says Mark Benioff bought Time magazine in 2018. Sally says beautiful view. Giovanna, how are you? Leah says hi, y'all. Hi, Tom. Hope all is well with you. Mark Davis says, Tom, when did Salesforce acquire Time magazine? Recently, 2018. Hello from Russia. What is going on, everybody from Russia? Hey, I see Fred T. What's up, Fred? Good to see you. Hey, Ron says great content in newsletter number 8. Thank you. Hey, Flavio is here from Brazil. What's up, Flavio? Good to see you. Yeah, John L. I agree. I actually agree with that, John L. Hey, Nikki Jeffrey says, Tom, is cybersecurity a good job? I would say yes. I think we've been talking about that a lot on the stream, that cybersecurity is going to be an industry for significant growth over the next coming decade. And that is actually going to be the topic of tomorrow's stream, where we talk about malware as a service. And I know what you're thinking. That may sound a little bit weird, but there's actually businesses on the dark web that you can go and purchase, just like any other piece of software that you can purchase, but it's actually malicious software where you can use to hack governments, local municipalities, and things like that. And it's a major, major problem. So there's actually a coalition that was developed recently by President Joe Biden that includes all the, I don't know what these guys are doing, that includes all the major cybersecurity companies in the United States, as well as Microsoft and Amazon, in order to combat these malicious actors that mainly come out of the Ukraine and Russia. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Hey, Nikki says, sweet, my son is looking into that. He is military. So, Nikki, I think there's going to be, especially if your son is in the military, there's going to be a significant amount of demand for military contractors that specialize in cybersecurity. So I would definitely look into that. But tell your son to look into companies like Zscaler, CrowdStrike, Okta, Symantec, and Palo Alto Networks. Homer says, if you're really interested in cybersecurity, find a few books on how to use it. That's Script Kiddie 101 stuff. Dr. Ray Rays says, good evening, Tom and everybody. What's up, Dr. Ray Rays? Yeah, Disney cast members is yuck, not a Vegas fan. So honestly, between you and me, Disney, I'm not a big Vegas fan either. I was just there 2 days ago. But it's, you know, it's nice to visit maybe like once a year for 3 days. Mises understanding Mises understanding you nor no one can pro-offer the future, but do you believe the S&P will be up or down at year's end? I personally believe there will be blood on the market before the end of the first quarter. Yeah, so I'm still holding my thesis that the indices will I mean, I think that all of the indices are going to end positive for the year. I mean, if the indices end negative for a year, we're going to have like a 30% crash in the next 3 weeks, which I don't think that'll happen. But to your point, if we look back to, let's say, 1987, a very similar situation was present here. And what I mean by that is the overall market breadth. And the only thing holding up these major indices, and I was writing about it in my newsletter, are all these mega cap tech stocks. So should Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, Facebook, should they sell off into the end of the year, you could have some real fireworks to the downside in these major indices. But what I think is going to happen is I think growth stocks are going to catch a pretty nice bid into year end, and you're going to see a lot of liquidity or a lot of cash coming out of mega cap tech and funnel back into growth for a rotation. And I think that'll prop the indices up. I think it'll be like a balancing act into the end of the year. But I think, you know, you make that's a pretty good supposition, I think, that you made. But as somebody told me, one of my good friends that runs a hedge fund, he's like, nobody knows what's going to happen. He's like, not you, not me, nobody knows. The only thing that we can do is look at the data and try to use it to the best of our ability and manage risk. But I'm still in the camp that equities will continue higher. But I'm hoping we see a little bit of a sell-off in mega cap tech stocks, and hopefully some of that money finds its way back into high beta growth. Hey, Ray says, would you consider yourself rich or wealthy? I guess it depends on how you define wealthy. Photos from around New York says, what is the 5-year outlook on the overall market and the economy? I mean, I think that the economy is going to continue to grow. I don't think we're going to have negative GDP growth in the United States. But photos, that's a good question, because when I'm formulating a fundamental thesis, right, an investment process, and we talk about this a lot, it's important to have systematic processes that you can replicate for years in your investment process. So I like to start with a top-down, bottom-up, macro-focused approach on where we think the economy or the stock market is going to go. And to keep everything at a basic level, the PMIs or the IMF manufacturing numbers, assuming those continuously come in over 50, and that shows the United States economy is growing, there's a 60% chance that the S&P 500 will finish higher in the next 2 quarters. And I wrote about this in my Behind the Street newsletter, I think issue number 7. So if you want to know more about the Purchasing Manufacturers Index and why it is so important, you'll sort of understand why. Oh, hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Chris is pretty.
Oh, Chris, what's up, Chris? What's going on? Good?
I'm over at the American Institute.
Oh, really? Nice. Good to see you.
Me too. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for watching.
No problem. Yeah.
How long have you been watching?
Maybe like a couple months.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool,
I live in
dude.
Florida. I'm originally from Florida. So
Oh, no way. Yeah, we come on the sidewalk. What's going on? So you live, what part of Florida do you live?
Fort Pierce.
Okay.
It's north of Palm Beach.
So, are you anywhere near me?
Miami? No,
North Miami Beach?
North Miami, no.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I used to
Nice.
hang out in Miami a lot. Yeah.
Dude, cool. Dude, I love it down there, man. I moved down there like 2 months ago. Dude, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's
I
nice
can't
and
wait to
great.
get back down there. It's clean, low taxes, beautiful.
Right.
It's awesome. So which hotel do you work in this one?
No, I'm staying at the Americana Inn.
Ah, you just visited here.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Oh, what is that? What's City Climb?
The city climb is at the it was 30 bucks an hour.
Oh, the Edge.
The Edge. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the Edge is nice, dude. You're gonna like that. And I think tomorrow's supposed to be really clear too.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna love it. Well, how do you like the city so far? Do you like
I
it?
love it. Yeah, I went to school here. I went to school in Brooklyn.
Ah, cool. Nice.
Yo, so continue what you're doing.
Hey, dude, awesome, man. Hey, dude, I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Hey, have a good night. See you, man. Oh, that was cool. So that's a viewer of the stream. Very cool, fellow viewer. I thought I recognized his voice, so I thought it was actually somebody I knew from work. So I was like, oh no, it's somebody I know from work. No, but he was a cool guy. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, photos from around New York says the Edge has the climb. Yes. So I've never been up to the Edge, but I always get asked. A lot of people, especially in the chat, say you have to go to the one Vanderbilt and you have to go to the Edge at the Hudson Yards. I've never been to either one of those. The only observation decks that I've been in here in New York is, what's it called? The Empire State Building and the Rockefeller Center, top of 30 Rock. Homer says, Bill, 34 years of anything is too much. Hey, Leah, what's up, Leah? Good to see you. Ryan says it's 10:50 a.m. here in Indonesia. Welcome everybody from Indonesia. Hey, John Rambo says later, folks. Good night. Thank you for joining. Yes, Bill, congratulations on your retirement, my friend. So anytime we walk past the Grand Central Station, we have to go in and check out the Mighty Bowl for the Mighty Bowl. So I saw somebody asking about the Evergrande situation. So Evergrande is a Chinese real estate developer that formally defaulted on all its debt. But there's a notion or sort of a stipulation on Wall Street that this is going to be China's Lehman Brothers moment, which I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, it certainly is possible, but I'm not in the camp where I think that's going to happen. Lena Sandoval says, hello, Tom and everybody. How you doing? I'm doing really well. What's up, Lena Sandoval? Hey, Bill Coleman says, I love Grand Central. I love it too. Homer says, if you don't want to pay for the top of the rock, go to Bar 365 and buy a drink. That's clever. Homer, that's actually really clever. Hey, Christopher Downer says, nice meeting you, Tom. So that's it. So everybody, that's who we met tonight. Christopher Downer. Very good meeting you, man. Christopher's also in Florida. Palm Beach. So Christopher, I'm actually flying back. Christopher, I'm flying back on Wednesday to Miami, but then I have to come back the following week just to be with the family for Christmas. But thank you for coming up, Christopher. Yeah, if you guys see me on the street, feel free to say what's up. But hope you have a good night, man. Hey, Miguel's here. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. This is hi, Tom and Steph. Roz999 says, thanks for another great stream. Off to bed, have to be up early. Appreciate you joining from Buffalo. So we'll take a look at the Mighty Bowl for the Mighty Bowl, and then we will head out. Scott Briggs says, my cousin lives in Fort Worth, Florida, near West Palm Beach. Very cool. Hey, Versus, that place looks huge. Lupe says, Tom, what is your favorite cologne? I don't wear cologne, Lupe, because it gives me a massive headache.
Customers, for your safety and the safety of others, please do not sit on the floor or stairs at Grand Central.
Kira J says, Mighty Bowl.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, so Kira, if you look at the ceiling here, you'll see the bowl. Lady O says it's 10:50, so I think my train is at 11 something, so I think we're making good time, actually. But Lupe, it's good to see you. Lupe is joining us from Oklahoma. Oh, I was gonna say, I actually got, so everybody, I got an email from a viewer that was affected by the tornadoes that were ripping through middle America, Kentucky, I believe. So if anybody was affected or impacted by that tragedy, you know, I'm sending well wishes, and hopefully, you know, the government will draw up a package to provide some support there to rebuild all those homes. Hey, Elizabeth is here. What's up, Elizabeth? Good to see you. We are here in Grand Central Station.
Social distancing and vaccination status. If you forgot yours, please ask a station ambassador or train crew.
Yeah, Lady O, it's horrible. It's almost like the entire...
Thank you for writing.
Some people lost everything. It's really, really bad. AS, was that the constellation in the stars, the mighty bull? Indeed it was. Hey, Bond, James Bond says, I like seeing the American flag up there. Jace Loop says, wish I was a swimming pool. Brandy says, hi, Tom. Enjoyed the latest newsletter. Appreciate it, Brandy. Thank you so much. Robert says, giant windows. Indeed, giant windows. Elizabeth says, prayers from Kentucky. Absolutely. All right, so we'll do a lap around and then we'll head out. So did anybody hear about that building? I forget the name of it, but there's a building that's actually sinking in San Francisco because they built this building literally on a landfill. So they took a bunch of, what do you call it? They took a bunch of the like dirt and literally dumped it into the bay, and they're building sky rises on it, which to me is incredible. And they're doing the same thing in Miami. I'm like, guys, in southern Florida, this isn't like hard bedrock. This is limestone. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a developer cash grab, but we'll see how it plays out over the next 100 years. Hey, Alexander, thank you so much for the 100 Russian rubles. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Roy says, good evening, Tom. That's the Millennium Tower built on a landfill. Ah, thank you for that, Roy. Ren 10 says it's called the Millennium Tower. PacFan 2323 says Millennium Tower sinking. So what do you guys think the solution is? Right, I know we all talk about and we see these you know, news articles about it's sinking, but what is the solution? I mean, is it going to come to a point where we need to take these buildings down? Because the last thing that I want to see happen is something like that happened in Surfside in Florida, where the entire condominium collapsed, killing all those people. And, you know, not to be negative, but it's very possible that something like that could happen in San Francisco. Not to be negative, but I'm just saying. So the Mighty Bull, I know you're in here. I'll show you the constellation of the Mighty Bull. Homer says so much of San Francisco is landfill. They didn't drive pylons into the ground. Yikes. Homer says Salesforce Tower in San Francisco is not sinking. Well, that's a plus. Lupe says, aren't there a few sinkholes in Florida? So Lupe, now that you mention that, I was walking around the Upper West Side. I think it was near like 96, 97th Street and West End Avenue, and somebody's entire front facade of the brownstone fell into a big sinkhole. Yeah, Jeffrey said civil engineering had to do their job well. Disney cast member says especially in Central Florida. Hey, Charlie King says, I need to visit this. I'm homeless but in a shelter. If there are bad people, have a right to shelter. If there are bad, it's difficult giving control of your life to strangers. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, you love the chandeliers. This is TR61. Reddy says, this is the first time I'm watching GC live on the other movies and YouTube videos. Thanks, bro. No problem. Roy says, Tom, in the process of trying to fix the tower, they drilled more into the ground and made it sink even more. I know. So I think they were trying to drill the pylons, or what are they called? Whatever they're called, into the ground. But I was watching sort of like a documentary piece, and some of the civil engineers were saying that they should have known when they were trying to quote unquote fix the Millennium Tower, that when you pile drive the pylons into the ground, it creates a suction where it actually sucks up and out some of the precious soil that is used to support the building out of the ground, and it creates a sinkhole, quite literally. James Bond says there are areas around the Bay Area. April Benson says, I saw the same doc. Thiago says, hi Tom, hi everybody, greetings from Brazil. Bill Coleman says the tower is now leaning 26 inches. Me says, I have a rental warehouse near Ocala, Florida, and I'm unable to secure sinkhole coverage for the warehouse. Jeez. Well, insurance is crazy in Southern Florida. I think my insurance premium a year is close to $4,000, I believe. And that is just wild. And it's probably going to go up every year. Dino says, sounds like bagpipes. Homer says Millennium is jacked. Water and sewer issues now, big time. So this is right outside of the One Vanderbilt building. Tanya says, how is the temperature right now? It's probably around 45 degrees. David Goldstein says, good evening, everybody. What's up, David? Good to see you. Hope you're well. You know, we'll walk past the Yale Club here. So this is the Yale Club if you look straight ahead. Yeah, it's true, Mr. Coleman. James says Jackie Kennedy saved Grand Central Station. I know, thank God. Hey, Mike H says your camera resolution is off the charts. Thank you for the stream. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. A lot of people tell me that, but I'm only streaming on an iPhone 11. Coolon516 says you buy on the coast in Florida, your homeowner's insurance is always going to be high. Yeah, that's true. I guess that's just one of the things I got to deal with, but my homeowner's insurance is egregious. Toilet brush salesman says that guy has some pipes on him. Toilet brush, good to see you. Everybody, this is the Yale Club, New York, where Jeff Bezos frequents. I think like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a big commotion with Jeff Bezos coming out right here. Dante Rose says, thanks for the stream, Tom. Have a good day tomorrow. Appreciate it, Dante. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you, my friend. Valentina says, will you buy the newest iPhone? I don't think I should. I think I'm just going to keep with this until it goes dead on me. Nick Jones says, take a look through the glass doors at the old Pan Am sculpture. Ren 1018 says Florida has the highest home insurance in the country. Well, it's right in Hurricane Alley there, so I could imagine. I could definitely imagine. But everybody, just to quick recap, the topic of the stream tonight is innovation homes. And the reason why we were talking about this today is that there's a lot of people that are upset about Wall Street firms coming in here and buying up the single-family housing market. So Innovation Homes, ticker symbol INVH, stands out from your average real estate investment trust. For starters, it's the largest player in America's single-family rental home market, and it's not even a decade old yet. It was founded in 2012. The Dallas-based Innovation acquires, renovates, leases, and operates single-family properties, and it handles everything from property management to payment. And it was a funny story about how they got started, because right after the financial crisis of 2008, the founder came in there and bought 1,000 single-family homes in Phoenix, Arizona for pennies on the dollar. And what he did to them is he just used them to rent out to individual families for good cash flow. And if you want to take a look at the article that we're referencing, if you type !home, H-O-M-E, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the Investors Business Daily article. And the CEO of Innovation Homes, he says the reason why they like to acquire single-family homes as opposed to multifamily apartment units and the like is because when somebody moves into a single-family home, the statistics show they tend to stay there for a minimum of 3 years. So if you can find a really good tenant to move into a single-family home, chances are they're not going to be moving. There's not going to be as high turnover as there would be in a multifamily apartment complex. Ooh, Disney cast member says there are over 27,000 reported sinkhole incidents and sinkhole affected parcels across 59 counties in Florida. Well, Disney cast member, let's hope I don't fall into one. Robert says you need a subscription to view the article. Oh, did they really hit you with the paywall? That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. But usually you get one free article. So I think Investors Business Daily, Wall Street Journal, and sometimes Business Insider will hit you with the paywall. But I understand why, but that's unfortunate because it's a very good article. So here we are on Park Avenue, which is, I really consider this Wall Street because the majority of the hedge funds and investment banks are right here. So we'll walk up and see the Seagram building, which is one of my favorite buildings in New York. Hey, Bill Coleman says, I wish everybody a good night and stay safe. Thank you. Yeah, Robert says everything is a paywall nowadays. Hey, the Songbird is here. What's up, Songbird? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Hi, Revis. I know. Crazy. Yeah, Cool On says limestone. Says a combination of limestone and sand in Florida. Penelope says egregious is an underused word. Sometimes I think I overuse that word. Cool On 516 says if I were a tech, I would figure out how to have people pay 10 cents or so to read a paywall article, give the money to the newspaper magazine. Interesting. That's actually very interesting. So this is going to be a big new development here. Hey, Paolo says hello, greetings from Chile. Welcome, Paolo. Good to see you. Sunshine after rain, thank you for the time check. Appreciate it. Neon says, would it be okay if I went past Novotel at Times Square? Maybe we'll do that one day. Songbird says, AI is windy and wet east of Sacramento. Daniel, what's up, Daniel? Says, what's up, everybody? Good to see you, Daniel. Tom, that's going to be the new JP Morgan HQ, yes. Mr. Jamie Dimon. So Jamie Dimon actually lives out on Long Island. He owns a house in Melville, New York. The building's going to look insane when it's done. But if we look to our left, we're going to see this building with the cause statue here. We always pass it on the stream. And a lot of people says it looks like a big pink Elmo. So we're going to be able to see it in just a second here. It's on East 49th Street. And I actually used to have the same exact sculpture in my office, but in the Marsh and McLennan building. So check it out. And then I'll give you guys a view of the MetLife building and the Hemsley building. TR61 says, Tom, do you know where Chester, New York is? I'm not sure. Are you talking about Westchester or just Chester, New York? Jordan LeBeau says, tickle me Elmo. Hey, Cheryl's here. What's up, Cheryl? Good to see you. Hope you're well. The Songbird says, yes, lots of snow up in Tahoe. Jared says, what kind of time frames did real estate investment trusts plan to own these homes? Could these just be pump and dump schemes? Interesting question. So I think if you, like the specific REIT that we're talking about tonight on the stream, they have a significantly large time horizon, right? So they probably hold these homes for probably well over 10 years. Where you run into an issue is when you have somebody like Zillow is a good example. And Zillow got into a lot of hot water because they got into the business of iBuying. So iBuying is a brand new trend where Zillow will offer somebody cash to buy their home. So it essentially makes it that you can trade your home like a stock. So it increases the amount of liquidity in the market. So what do I mean by that? Usually, if you log on to your Charles Schwab account, you can liquidate all of your assets in a matter of seconds by just clicking a sell button. But in the real estate market, it's very different, right? Because it's not liquid. There's a lack of liquidity. So, and this comes down to like finance 101, right? So if you're looking at a balance sheet, right, the first thing they teach you in your finance 101 class in college is if you're looking at a balance sheet, it's always in order of liquidity. In order of liquidity. So you have your cash and equivalents, and then way down the list you have property, plant, and equipment. So it's very hard to liquidate your property, plant, and equipment because you have to find a buyer. There's a lot of legalese in there. So in the iBuyer space, what you can do is have somebody like Zillow buy your house in cash, you liquidate immediately, and then what they do is, what Zillow was doing is they were trying to speculate in the real estate market by making very minor adjustments, very minor fixes to the properties, and then relisting them on the market, trying to make a profit. Or they were in the business of flipping homes. But thankfully that backfired on them and they lost close to $500 million on that whole deal. And that's what happens when you try to speculate in real estate, it always ends bad. I guess a lot of people didn't learn their lesson from the 2008 financial crisis when there was rampant speculation in the real estate market. But with these real estate investment trusts, they tend to hold their assets for longer durations, and they pay out their cash flow to their investors. So the way a REIT works is, if you're structured as a real estate investment trust, you have to distribute the vast majority of your profits to investors in the form of dividends. Andy the Obliviator says, can't tell if that's a store or museum. Lovely pieces. So this is called Eden Fine Art, and there's one obviously located right here, right behind the St. Patrick's Cathedral, but there's also an even better Eden Fine Art Gallery that's located in Soho. And they have some amazing pieces here, very beautiful. But we're on the corner of East 50th Street and Madison Avenue. And this is directly behind the St. Patrick's Cathedral. NNB 045s is our REITs, and ETFs the same thing. No, they are not. They are not. An ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. Hey, Fresh Sinatra. Just loving the stream. Abe Blessed is here. What's up, Abe? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Greetings from London, UK. Ooh, the wind is starting to pick up. So if you look to your left, this is Saks Fifth Avenue. The very famous, very high-end luxury clothing store. Jerry says Zillow flips houses as their business model. Well, they don't anymore. They lost so much money that they disbanded their iBuyer house flipping business because they lost so much money. They actually had to take, I believe on their last earnings report, they took something like $380 million loss. And so there was a lot of speculation. There was a lot of speculation across a lot of people that were saying Zillow lost all this money on their single family home buying program and house flipping, that it's going to crash the real estate market. But that's not going to happen, because contrary to what a lot of people think, when you have a big company like Zillow that has to offload 14,000 single family homes on the open market, they're not selling these houses individually. What they do is they package them and sell them as a package deal to big institutional investors on Wall Street. And this could be like the Blackstones of the world, or the company that we were talking about today. It's not like Zillow's gonna sit there and sell them to individual investors. It's not gonna happen. Somebody like a private equity firm or a VC firm is gonna buy this for pennies on the dollar and make a killing. So now we are at St. Patrick's Cathedral here, right across the street from 30 Rock. Hey, Laytha's here. What's up, Laytha? Good to see you. You know what? We'll walk down. I'll show everybody the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Even though we saw it yesterday, might as well see it again. Penelope, I see Penelope. Penelope, how's everything going in Tennessee? Hey, Todd, Union Pacific says hello. What's up, Todd? Hope you're well, Todd. Jeffrey says hello. Robert says yay, Saks windows. Yeah, so this is Saks Fifth Avenue. Very famous retailer here. Valentina says, do you prefer the summer, winter, or fall in New York City. I prefer the summer. So right behind us is the very famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. I'll show you guys. Hey, Robert West is here. What's up, Robert West? Dip Indy says, I still wonder how these big companies with so much resources make very expensive blunders. Yeah, well, I think it's called greed. But anybody with a brain could tell that that iBuyer program at Zillow is not going to work. Everybody knew it was going to be a big disaster. But I think Zillow is just so intoxicated with making money that it turned out to bite them in the behind. Hey, Cheryl says, oh my God, they call me Strawberry, love it. Penelope says, good, thank you. I need to sell my dad's house on the golf course, working on it. Homer says, Redfin is pulling back on it now too. So I think Redfin is a little bit more systematic and organized about it, but I think they're going to get burned on a lot of stuff too. Hey, what's up, James? This great song. Claus is here. Epics is beautiful. What's up, Epic? Roy says, greed is also the reason for the Millennium Tower debacle. Norbert says, hello, greetings from Germany. Jeffrey says, beautiful. What's up, Jeffrey? What's up, everybody? Hope you're well. Daryl is here. What's up? Yes, the Andy the Obliviator says, Tom, can you pan up to 30 Rock so I can see the height of it? So this is Rockefeller Center, and you could actually go to the top of the rock. DN says, yes, greed has plagued civilization since the beginning. Money can bring out the worst in some folks. Agreed. So this is 30 Rock, everybody. Hey, Georgie says, while I am watching your stream and feeling as a part of America. Very cool. So this is looking downtown on 5th Avenue. So this is looking towards Penn Station. And you could also see a part of the Empire State Building. Hey, NNB045 says, good night, Tom. Thank you for joining. Hey, Savi says, hello from Canada. What's going on? All right, which one do you guys like better? Do you like this window better with the coconuts on it? Or do you like this one? So this one or this one? So if you like number one, type 1 in the chat. If you like this one better, type 2. I think I'm gonna pick number 2. I like this one better. Yeah, Lathos is so much traffic. Nice to see. Alifra says, how much degree is it now, or what's the temperature? I believe the temperature is like 45 degrees. Ooh, Patrick says 1. Todd says 2. DN says 2. Yeah, I like 2 better. It looks like everybody likes 2. Christian says 2 with Tom. Nikki says 2. Ah, Lathos says you like both 1 and 2. Bueller says 7. Funny. LB says 2. Last says 2. Show 1 again, says Ren. So this is 1. So 1 has the coconuts with the little guys on the sailboat. This is 1. And this is number 2 with the Ferris wheel. Ah. Very funny. Oh, so this is the Hampton Jitney. So you could get on this bus and it'll take you right out. The Hamptons. Wait, this has changed my mind. I like 2. Ooh, everybody, we are right in time for the light show. Very cool. So maybe we'll stay and watch the light show. I think it just started, so we'll check it out. Well, I'll let you guys decide because it's your stream. So should we stay and watch the Saks Fifth Avenue light show, or do you want to go towards Radio City Music Hall? I'll leave it up to you guys because we got about 20 minutes to stream anyway. and we covered all the topics we wanted to cover. So let me know if you want to see the light show or do you want to walk to Radio City. Roy says light show. Photos from New York says Radio City. Jared says let's watch. Okay, light show. Yeah, all right, we'll watch the light show. It seems like everybody wants to watch the light show. Charles D says light show. Hey, Kevin Sunderland says, hey, Tom, let's go towards Radio City with the $4.99 super chat. Kevin, we're going to do that. We're going to do both, I promise. But thank you for the support. I appreciate it, Kevin. You always support me, and I appreciate it very much. We'll do both. We'll do both. I see Patrick, New York. What's up, Patrick?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's pretty dumb without
What's up, James? Nikki says, Tom, were you in New York City during 9/11? I was too young. I was born in 1995, so I was too young, really. I think they do a good job here. Hey, Kevin Sunderland says Kramer had a great interview with the woman who initiated Starbucks' store unions in Buffalo. Very impressive. Management and labor relations don't have to be zero sum. Kevin, I'm going to check that out. I didn't see that yet, but I'm going to check it out. Darren says that is so beautiful. Indeed it is. Is it over? I think it's over. Yeah, I think it's over. All right, we'll go to Radio City. I think we have to go the other way because there's a big dead spot here. And the stream always turns off. So we'll go this way. But that was cool. At least we got to see it for a little bit before it turned off. Andy the Obliviator. Yeah, we covered a lot, everybody. So we're gonna take we'll take the rest of the night off just to sort of walk around, hang out. But we covered a lot. So if anybody wants to stream, we talked about the conflict of Main Street versus Wall Street in the single-family housing market. Hey, Christian Hansen says, I did security at Merrill Lynch for a while and could look right down into the dark pit. Yeah, Ireva says maybe the light show's only on the weekends. I'm not too sure about that. But this is the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. Mr. Cold says, Tom, did you hear about the shortage of labor in the United States, I did hear about that. So I think employees for the first time ever have leverage in order to get better paying jobs and get a raise. So I've been saying on the stream for a long time, definitely ask your employers for a raise, for sure. Miguel says Bank of America and Merrill. Hey, Lewis is here, says, hey, my friend. What's up, Lewis? Good to see you. EIC says, so nice. So this is the FAO Schwartz. So this used to be where the Apple store was, right on 5th Avenue, but they moved it here to 30 Rock. So I'll give you guys one more look at the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Dams Block says, peace, Tom. Glad I was. Oops, sorry, my client is calling me. But yeah, so I'll let you for sure. Once it's up, I'll post it in the description. DN is beautiful as always. Sunshine after rain says, I can't fall asleep. I will make mistakes. So this is the Rainbow Room, NBC Studios observation deck. Andy the Obliviator says, futures flat across the board. Does that mean anything to you? So Andy, what about, check crude oil, check on crude oil, ticker symbol CL exclamation point. If crude was down today, so on Sunday night, we were checking the futures before we were streaming, and crude was actually positive. Overnight and right before the market opened, crude flipped to negative and stocks started to sell off. So usually when you have pressure in crude oil, that usually brings the major equity indices down with it. Because when you have crude oil higher on the day, that gives a boost to the energy sector as well as the financial sector. And the energy sector and the financial sector are two big components of the S&P 500 because it's a market capitalization weighted index. But when you have pressure on crude oil, it brings the energy sector down, and it also brings the financial sector down. So here we are, Radio City Music Hall. Christmas Spectacular show goes on right here, West 50th Street and 6th Avenue. Could we get a quick time check in the chat? I just don't want to miss my train. British Grey, 11:30, copy that. Thank you for that, British Grey. Yes, Kira J, you're right. The Rockettes. So this is the Christmas Spectacular, Radio City. Andy the Obliviator says S&P is crazy weighted towards tech right now, though. Does that have a big impact on oil? Yeah, so Andy the Obliviator, I'm not sure if you're getting my newsletters, but I think you would enjoy it if you sign up for the Behind the Street newsletter. That was pretty much the main topic of the newsletter today. The S&P 500, there's 5 stocks that make up 23% of the weighting in the indices. 23%. And the last time we had such a high weighting or a high concentration in 5 stocks, it was right before the 2000 tech and telecom bubble. And I'm not saying we're about to crash, we're about to go into a new stock market crash. All I'm saying is that if you look at Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Alphabet, Facebook, these stocks alone make up over 23% of the weighting in the indices. And over 60% of the NASDAQ is below its major 200-day moving average. So if anybody wants to sign up for a free financial newsletter where we talk about this more in depth, if you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, you'll be able to receive a copy of the newsletter for free every single week if you miss the streams. But yeah, that's a good point, Andy the Obliviator. There's a big weighting to mega cap tech. Oh, they just turned off the Christmas tree. So, hey, Georgie says, hey, Tom, what do you think about Robinhood and GameStop? Do you think that there is something Robinhood is hiding from us? So, not to sound like a broken record, but I actually covered that in the newsletter. And there was a big segment in there because I get these emails all the time about what do I think about GameStop? What do I think about these meme stocks? And not to sound harsh, but I would absolutely, totally ignore them and rid them from your life. I wouldn't even spend time thinking about them because it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. Over the long term, if you go on Reddit and you get a stock tip about, you should buy GameStop, that's not a systematic investing process, right? So real money managers on Wall Street, they don't look to Reddit and, different type of things for like stock tips and picks, because that's not a systematic investment process that can create duplicity, right? If you are an institutional money manager and you're investing multiple billions of dollars, let's say $20 billion, let's say you have a $20 billion AUM for a mutual fund, you have a fiduciary duty to your clients to be responsible and have a systematic investing process. So all the other stuff about the meme stocks and the Shiba coins and the Doge stuff, it's all just noise. It's all nonsense. I don't even read about it. I don't think about it because it's not real. It makes up a very, very small portion of the overall investing community. And it's just speculation. There's no processes in that. There's no valuation metrics. It's just speculation. So what I would do is I would spend the majority of my time focusing on how to build an investing process or formulate an investing thesis that you can replicate over years. And 9 times out of 10, that comes down to finding companies that are compounding out their earnings at a compounded annualized growth rate of at least 25% year over year. So you think about companies like Alphabet, Apple, Amazon. These are trillion-dollar companies for a reason, because of the quality of earnings. Right, so I think it's in the short term, if you speculate in the meme stuff, I think you're by and large wasting your time. So I would just personally not even pay attention to it. But the mainstream media and CNBC will ram this stuff down your throat because they're an advertising business. They want to sell advertising. And people are willing to click on a link that says, the big broker dealers are bad and they're trying to steal all your money. So I don't even really pay attention to it to answer your question. NNB 045 says, so what we call blue chip stocks. So everybody, this is the News Corporation building, and this Christmas tree actually just got burned down the other day, and they built a brand new one in record time. Andy the Obliviator. This is 100% fireproof Christmas lights. Funny. Well, I think I got to pick up the pace here, everybody, if I want to make my train. So I apologize if I can't read any more of the comments, because I do have to pick up the pace, or we may miss the train. $11:36. I think we'll just make it. I think I'll just make it as the doors are closing. Berlin's a small violin for the Fox News tree. Funny. Somebody's saying I should take the A train. I'm not a big fan of the subway. I'd rather just walk it. It's better exercise, better air quality. Hey, Roy, says Tom, when are you headed to Miami? I should be headed to Miami on Wednesday. Hey Frank, good to see you. Kira J says no skateboard. No skateboard today. We will have it back very soon, I promise. Rule number 1, never skateboard by a garbage truck. Hey, Bruce Wayne is here. What's up, Bruce? He says, get a city bike. Roy says, where are you living now when you're in New York City? I am in Long Island. So you got to take the good old Long Island Railroad from Penn Station. But look on the bright side, guys. We're going to see a beautiful view of the Empire State Building. Beautiful view. Photos from around New York. Good to see you. Homer says LIRR. Indeed. Look at how beautiful these pianos are here. So beautiful. If I ever make a ton of money one day and have a beautiful apartment in the city, I think I'm going to get a really nice piano from this place. Just because they look so gorgeous, don't they? They're amazing. These pianos are awesome. I don't know if you guys are big fans, but I like the way they look. Jace is with the tiger too. It's included. So this is probably one of the greatest views of the Empire State Building in the city. Right here, 42nd Street, Bank of America Tower. Beautiful. Ooh, we got 10 seconds. 8 seconds, 7 seconds to cross. I think we'll make it. Gonna jog. All right, to the right is Salesforce Tower. with our pal Mark Benioff. What's going on, Mark? Hope you're well. Have a productive Tuesday. Nikki Jeffries, thank you. Roy says, would you move to those pencil towers? I don't think so. You know, there's been a lot of problems with those. Charles Deese is 1141. Oh man, we have to hustle. We gotta hustle, guys. Bank of China to your right. Latha, hope you're well. Good to see you. Hey, Sylvia H. Just have a safe trip home. Thank you, Sylvia. Appreciate it. It's a beautiful night out in New York, though. Really beautiful. Abe blesses walk, 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 walk. I think we're gonna make it. We're making good time. Hey, NNB045. This is Tom. Looking forward to your cybersecurity stream tomorrow. Thank you. Hey, Matthew P. What's up, Matthew? Long time no see. Good to see you. Mr. Cold, Patrick, New York. Good to see you, Patrick. All right, what time is it now? Is it 11:50? Let's see if it's 11:50. $11:44. Matthew P, good to see you. Robert West. Penelope. Roy, Mr. Cold. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. It's a pleasure to talk to you every night. Hey, Darren Robinson is here from Australia. What's up, Darren? We're making good time. We have just enough time so I could show you guys the third best view of the Empire State Building. I think that's a pretty good view. Hey West, Robert says Shake Shack. I think Five Guys is a little bit better. Kim Grant, what's up? I'll give you guys a look at the Macy's windows. One last look at the Empire. We're good, I think we're gonna make it. Hey Tony, thank you Tony, appreciate it. Cosmo Scary, good to see you. So everybody, I appreciate you joining. Disney cast member Cosmo Scary, Roy, the Mighty Bull. Thank you for joining. Mr. Cold, everybody, Mark Davis. I'll see you all right back here tomorrow as we talk about cybersecurity. Gonna be a pretty interesting stream. Patrick New York, Otto, thank you. Robert West. Everybody, I appreciate it. Thank you also for everybody for signing up for the free newsletter. I think we have almost 170 people that are receiving the Behind the Street newsletter. So I really do appreciate that. It does mean a lot. First name, last name. Mr. Cole, appreciate it. Disney cast member. Good luck with your move to New York. James, Mark Davis. Dip Indy. Roy, Abe Blessed. Michelle McGraw, Sunshine After Rain. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here, everybody. Make it a good Tuesday. It's been a good start to the week so far. Let's keep that momentum going for tomorrow. And last but not least, to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I'll see everybody right on time tomorrow for the next one. See you in the next one, everybody.
Please watch your step getting on and off.
Please keep your feet. Escalator.
Please watch your step and